Today's the day. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Stack Bitcoin Show, your beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin. Man, it's exciting day. It's an exciting day today. Exciting day. Whoa, a little hair sticking up back there. All right, let's got it. Got him. Got him. Round of applause from the live studio audience for McLovin. What up, McLovin? I see McLovin everywhere. That's right. I see McLovins. Round of applause from the live studio audience for Hard Huddle. Also for Derry. Welcome back, Derry. Welcome back to the show. Let's go. Wish I had some cash to drop on BTC right now. Me too. I blew my wad yesterday. Is that okay to say? the wad of money I had, I threw it at Bitcoin already. Man, it's crazy. All right. So, will Bitcoin go down further? I don't know. Will it go up from here? Yeah, probably, right? But I don't care. I'm still accumulating. I'm still in full on buying Bitcoin mode. I don't care the price. I'm continuing to buy it. Okay? Everything out there is telling you to buy Bitcoin, even if the price is going down. Okay? You should be happy. It's a buying opportunity. Okay? Now don't go buy something just because I said so. Okay? I'm not telling you to go buy anything. I'm telling you to go study Bitcoin and look at the other options out there on ways to invest your money. And while you're doing research, just make sure you include Bitcoin on your research. Right? Look at all the possible asset classes you can invest your money into, and you can figure out what is going to best serve you. Right? Once you understand all those classes, all those asset classes, okay, and you'll come to understand that Bitcoin is the best place to store your wealth, to store your value with no risk of a third party confiscating it or losing it or stealing it from you somehow. Okay, so it's just a show where we talk about that. So let's get the show cracking. Jump into our first segment of the evening, of the afternoon. The Bitcoin strength. All right. Today, the price of Bitcoin is $94,525.61. We've seen it as low as 92,509 or so. 92,500 is the lowest it's been so far today. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Oh, it's pretty good. So, where is there some of these audio? Oh, there it is. Found it. There it is. So, today you can buy 1,058 Satoshis for a single penny. What the heck is a Satoshi? A Satoshi is a fraction of a Bitcoin, just like a dollar is made up of 100 cents. A Bitcoin is made up of 100 million Satoshis, so you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin all at once. You can buy it a little bit at a time with as little as $1,000. You can get yourself 0.0001 Bitcoin. Is that right? Yeah, that's about right. And start yourself on the Bitcoin journey. Right? Say you're walking down the street minding your own business, you look down, you see a penny, you pick it up, and all the day, your penny could be worth 10 Satoshis. I was messing with my audio yesterday and moving some things around, so that's why I'm looking over to the left more than usual. The soundboard is not exactly where I had it before, so it is throwing me off a little bit. But yes, that is the price of Bitcoin. That is a Bitcoin strength. And if you ain't stacking, you're slacking. Okay, if you ain't stacking, you're slacking. Slackosaurus Rex if you ain't stacking. All right, that concludes that portion of the show. Let's get into why we stack. Why we stack. If you're new to the show and you're wondering what the heck we're doing here, all that we're doing here on the show is I am showing you how easy it is to save in Bitcoin a little bit at a time. Okay? Granted, it's probably better to just buy as much Bitcoin as you can, but if you're shy about it, you're kind of just getting into it, it's easy to just take whatever money that you're spending on frivolous things like coffees and cigarettes and beer and things that are probably not even good for your health. Take some of that money that you spend daily and spend it in Bitcoin. Invest it in Bitcoin. Save it in Bitcoin. Okay? So at the end of the year, your daily cups of Starbucks coffee, Monday through Friday, will be more than just pee down the drain. Right? I think we did the calculation here on the show a couple of months ago, where if you take $5 a day times 5 days a week, it's $25 times 52 weeks, because you work every single week, don't take vacations. That's $1,300. $1,300. If you would take that $1,300 and save it into Bitcoin instead, at the end of the year, you would have a lot more than $1,300 to show for, right? Instead of those Starbucks cups piling up. Right? So that's the basic premise, okay? And we don't just talk about different ways you can save in Bitcoin here. We talk about how you should hold your Bitcoin. Self-custody only. Don't leave it on the exchange. And that's it. I mean, it's pretty boring, right? We just buy Bitcoin, take custody of that Bitcoin, and get more wealthy, right? That's all it takes. Carl says, beer. The cause of and solution to all my problems. Nice. Nice, Carl. Nice. Also, by the way, round of applause from my live studio audience for Carl. Welcome back. But yeah, so that's the basic premise. That's what we do. We buy Bitcoin, we take custody of the Bitcoin, and we repeat, because we understand that when we save in Bitcoin, saving in Bitcoin is like traveling back in time and giving ourselves a perpetually increasing retroactive raise for the hours we've already worked for as long as we hold a Bitcoin that represents those hours. And as the rest of the world starts to understand that concept, that saving in Bitcoin shields your savings from inflation, and more people get into it, that's going to naturally increase the value of your savings. And I'm not just talking about people in general, like regular people like you and I. Now we're talking about governments and companies and big institutions and all these different funds that before would never entertain the idea of saving in Bitcoin or investing in Bitcoin, but now it's becoming mainstream, right? And since we were in Bitcoin before any of the banks were in there, we're in there before the ETFs, guys. We're in there before the ETFs. We're in there before. Yeah, it's crazy to think about. It's crazy to think how early we are here in the chat. But at the same time, there's so much runway still, right? Because Bitcoin has never seen this level of participation at the level of a company, right? At the level of institutions, of governments, wealth funds, of the sovereign wealth funds, like investing into it. It's going to be insane. It's going to be insane, right? Just the amount of value that's going to be transferred from all these different other asset types. Real estate, art, cash, stocks, bonds, right? Once people that have wealth in those different asset classes realize that how much better Bitcoin is, it appreciates faster, it has less risks than everything else, and you can actually have absolute control over it, right? It's a better instrument. Like you can't deny it, right? And if you deny it to yourself, you're just denying yourself your future prosperity, right? It's like you're denying yourself electricity. You're denying yourself fire. You're denying yourself the internet, right? You're denying yourself literally the internet of value. Okay, so that's why we save in Bitcoin. Okay, and how do I know it's going to keep going up in value? Because the money printer doesn't stop, right? The value of Bitcoin in terms of dollars is based on how many dollars are in existence, and the more dollars are in existence, the more of those weaker dollars is going to take to buy the same amount of Bitcoin. Okay, you add on top of that the fact that other people are figuring out how Bitcoin works, and that's bringing more demand to an inelastic supply of Bitcoin, and therefore the only other variable that can go up is the price. So buckle in. We're in for it, guys. We're in for a real treat. We're going to be, I don't know. I think it might happen sooner than later, right? Even if you're just starting now, even if you're just starting today, sheesh. It's incredible. It's incredible. Yeah, you might think to yourself, it's at 94, 92. I heard people say it's going to come down to 80. I heard people say it's going to come down to 75 even, right? Or 72, right? But remember, guys, those are the same people that were telling you to not buy at 15.5 because they might go down to 14. Because they might go down to 8. I even heard it was going to go down to 8 multiple times on multiple channels. Trading channels. I was dumb. That it was going to go down to like 8 when it was like at 15.5. I was still buying, but I was still buying. I was still doing my regular DCA anyway, and buying as much as I could at 15.5. But it was shocking the amount of people that were saying like, "Oh yeah, just hold off and buy it at 8 or buy at 14 from 15.5." How do you feel if you how do you feel if you bought? Let's say you had money when it was at 15.5 when the FTX thing happened, and you said it right. All right, I have enough to buy one Bitcoin at 15.5. I'm gonna go ahead and buy it and just hold on to it. See what happens. Okay, so you bought the Bitcoin, you have your one Bitcoin, right? And it drops down to 14K, which it never did. And you're like, oh shoot, oh well, I'm down a little bit. But then it roars back up to the 100, 108, 107 where we're at now, right? Are you gonna regret that? Hell no, you're not gonna regret that. You're good. You're already in there, right? You're on the train, baby. You're on the rocket ship. The rocket ship took off and you're in it and you're at 100K. Okay. What about the other guy? The other scenario. You have the money to buy the Bitcoin at 15.5 and you get on there. You're trying to make your final decision, trying to hit that buy button or not, and you see, oh shoot, it's gonna drop down. It might drop down to 8 or it might drop down to 14. I'm just gonna put my buy order at 14, and it never hits. And now the whole time it's going up, you're second guessing yourself. You're hating yourself, and you are never gonna get as many satoshis as you could have gotten if you just would have bought at 15.5, right? Okay, so with that in mind, I know it feels like Bitcoin can drop a lot from here, right? And maybe it could. Let's say it goes down to 50K, dude. That's like an extreme scenario that probably would never happen. Let's say it drops down to 50K. It would drop down to 50K, and you bought here at 94 or 92, whatever. Okay. All you gotta do is just hold on to it. You should be investing money you don't need it. You shouldn't be investing money you don't need immediately, right? You should be investing money that you're not gonna touch for another 4 years as a minimum. Okay. And then if that's the case, who cares if you buy now and it dips to 50? Then you just buy a little bit more, right? Just keep DCAing, because in the end you're already on the ship, and then when the ship takes off, it's not gonna give you a warning. It's just gonna go. So remember, time in Bitcoin is better than timing Bitcoin, right? So I don't even know what segment we're in. I think that's why we stack. I think so. Yeah, why we stack. So anyway, we stack. That's why we stack, because we understand what it is, right? And we understand that right now Bitcoin is on mega discount. Okay, it's crazy. It's crazy. Okay, it's like you showed up. It's like you showed up to, let's see, I don't know how can we say this? Yeah, like you discovered a new island off the west coast of California. Okay, everybody's going west, right? Well, California's as far west as you can go, but let's say that there's a new island offshore on the west. It's big. It's as big as California, right? It's new land, and nobody knows about it yet. Only you and a few people that have been keeping track of geography and new land formation can buy these lots on this island that not a lot of people know about yet, and it's pristine, right? You're gonna have a lot of coastal area. The weather's great, And anyway, you can buy the lots for $20. You can buy lots for even in today's prices. You can buy a lot of land on an island offshore off the west coast of California and there's only 21 million lots on this island, and it's going to cost you $94,000 for a lot on this island. Okay, and the benefits of this island are that you are when you buy a piece of lot on this island, that piece of lot can never be seized by any government, right? Whatever value you have in that lot is yours and yours alone, and the only way it can be taken from you is if you willingly decide to sell it or give it away or move it. Okay, that is Bitcoin Island, baby. That is Bitcoin Island. Now just how you imagine it offshore, imagine it in cyberspace, right? Where you can't physically take it over. Okay, if there was a real island, the Navy could come and what's it called? What's it called when they blockade resources and access to the island? People can't get in or out, and they starve you, and they'll take over your land, right? Well, you can't blockade Bitcoin. Okay, you can't. No, what's it called? What's that called when there's like the knights trying to break into the castle? It's not blockade. Hit me up in the chat with the description of what that word, what it means. It's like siege, under siege. You can't. Yeah. You got it, Carl. You can't take that island under siege, right? Because it's not physical, right? Therefore, it is immune to physical attacks because it's not physical. Okay, in order for a physical attack to affect something, it's gotta have something to bounce against, right? It's gotta also be physical. Okay, but if it's in cyberspace, if it's distributed all over the world, right, and nobody really has control over it, specifically over the whole network, then you can't destroy it, right? It's immortal, right? It is impervious to damage because you can't damage it, right? It's pretty wild. That's pretty cool. Anyway, that is what Bitcoin offers you. It offers you a place to store your value, right? Okay, and so then let's continue the analogy or the story or whatever you want to call it. You have this property in cyberspace that nobody can mess with and nobody can steal from you, right? How freaking cool is that? So you compare that to any other kind of property you can invest in or save in, right? And the answer becomes very, very, very clear and very, very obvious, right? But it's just a matter of time for the rest of the world to, first of all, shed the ideas that Bitcoin is bad, that Bitcoin is money for criminals, that Bitcoin is like used for scams, all this other stuff, right? All those ideas and that Bitcoin is bad for the environment, and that Bitcoin could be, I don't know, what's it called, banned, but you can't, right? You have to wait for everybody in the general population of the world to shed those ideas, right? The ideas that were put in their head by the very same people that are now running ETFs and stacking Bitcoin hand over fist, right? Right? That's incredible. Simply Bitcoin had a segment on the Fidelity 2025 Bitcoin report, or like their investment report. It is phenomenal. It is crazy to see that. It's crazy to see that. And I'm going to bring it up real quick just to have a link in the chat for you guys. I'll put the link in the chat. You guys can look it up on your own time. The 2025 Look Ahead Fidelity Digital Assets Research report. Okay, it's in the chat. And so now you have those very same people that were flooding Bitcoin, saying that it was like all these different bad things to get you to not look at it, to get you to stay within the existing financial system. Right? They flooded the heck out of everybody, all of the normal people, all the normies that don't know about Bitcoin. And now all the normies that don't know about Bitcoin are going to come in after the ETFs have already bought up a bunch of Bitcoin. So first they tricked people, the general normies, they tricked them into not getting into Bitcoin by saying it was bad for the environment, bad for all these things. Then they went and bought Bitcoin behind their back, right? While you're distracted with thinking that Bitcoin is no good, right? And now they're gonna go ahead and let you know that it's okay to buy Bitcoin. That they're not even gonna say they were wrong. They're just gonna say this is Bitcoin, this is good for the blah blah. They're gonna talk about all the different things that we've been talking about here for 2 years, and people before me have been talking about for years and years. They're gonna say the same exact things. Right? And people are gonna listen to them because they've been banking with them for their whole life, or they have clout because they have a Fidelity logo and brand that's been around for I don't know how many years, maybe 100 years, I don't know, right? But they have all that clout, and they also have the idea that a company like that has the resources, more resources than I could ever have, to invest in people that are a lot smarter than me. Not just one person, but multiple people that are a lot smarter than me and have been educated on financials and all that stuff, right? To go through and audit the Bitcoin network / model / how it fits in with society and finances and analyze it in ways that I could never dream of. But all of that resources and money and education to let their investors know the same thing we've been talking about forever. Right? But since it will be coming from an institution that a lot of investors trust, and that probably is financing most of the news outlets anyway, right? Now they have the propaganda machine working for us, okay? Fidelity, BlackRock, all those companies, they work for us now, right? They're pumping our bags, right? It's a shame that a lot more people couldn't get in before they did, right? There is still time to get in, but it's going to be crazy. Like levels we haven't seen ever, because never has Bitcoin had such a strong marketing department and the level of resources that are going to go into investing. Because remember, when it all comes down to the brass tacks, like bottom line, these companies are not in it to make Bitcoin better, okay? They're in it because they want the fees on the profits they're making you, right? So you invest in their instruments, in their ETFs and whatever they have set up that's Bitcoin backed. And as the price of Bitcoin goes up, you would have been better off buying the Bitcoin by itself, right? Just buying and holding the Bitcoin. But since you're doing it through them because it's easier for you and you don't want to learn about self custody and you don't want to learn how to send a transaction and all that stuff, you don't want to spend 30 minutes to an hour to learn that process. You're willing to give them a percentage of your Bitcoin gains for doing that for you, for custodying it for you, for being a middleman for you, for being a third-party risk for you, right? That they're making your possession of Bitcoin less ideal, and they're charging you for it, right? When you buy an ETF or when you invest in MicroStrategies, it's like a leveraged Bitcoin buy, but you'll go up faster than Bitcoin probably, but you don't have that but then you take on third-party risk, and also it's also leveraged back to the downside too, right? But anyway, you're better off just buying the Bitcoin itself and taking custody. But the whole point of this whole conversation, this whole point of this rant is to say that the levels of investment coming into Bitcoin are going to be something that we've never seen, and we're here. I wouldn't even say. I guess we're kind of still early, right? Kind of still early. But man, I'm just gonna wake up. We're gonna wake up one day in the near future, and Bitcoin's gonna be to a point where it's like, holy smokes, like it ripped. It's gonna rip so hard that, because how can it not rip so hard with that volume of investment coming in, right? Anyway, that is why we stack. The extended edition, super bullish AF. Let's go. Story time. We were watching a show yesterday with my kids, and one of the characters in the show said, what did they say? something they said something to the effect of like, "Oh, that's scary AF," right? And you know what AF stands for, right? It's not Abercrombie and Finch, right? And my kids aren't that old; they're young, but like I heard them both giggle when the character in this movie said AF, right? And like they chuckled, right? And I was like, shoot. Like I knew my older kid knew what it meant. My younger kid kind of does too. But like they gave themselves up. they gave themselves up just by their reaction to AF, right? And so I was like, hey guys, you guys know what that means, right? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, all right, well, we don't say that stuff, okay? They're like, yeah, okay. But still, it was funny. They damned themselves out. They gave themselves up by their own reaction. No poker face. Anyway, that was pretty funny. It happened yesterday. All right, another item to consider and to look into if you have a 401k. I was looking at what I thought was, well, it is. Before I knew about Bitcoin, I was investing in my. What up, Aaron? Welcome to the stream. Round of applause from a live studio audience for Aaron. Aaron in the house. I was before I knew about Bitcoin, I was just doing the traditional stuff, right? If your employer is willing to match your contribution to your 401k a certain amount, then you max it out, right? You invest as much as needed to get the full amount of the contribution that your employer is going to pay, because it's basically like free money, right? And I guess that makes sense, right? But then I was looking at the performance of that portfolio, and it's like, well, yeah, I am getting a percentage matched from my employer, but even with that percentage match, it's better for me to just not invest in my 401k through work and just take that money, pay my taxes on it, and invest and buy more and stack harder, right? Because the returns on Bitcoin are way better than most 401ks, and I'm talking about pre-ETF, those options, right? So it was just kind of basically captured money. And on top of that, when I save in Bitcoin, if there's an emergency and I need to liquidate for whatever reason, I could, right? But your 401k, it's time delayed, right? You can't take it out early. If you do, you get penalized, and there's a bunch of extra hurdles you have to jump through, and you have to get permission from somebody else to use your own money, right? So that's why I was like turned off about it. But anyway, recently so I haven't been contributing to it in a long time, but we had one of those things that they do at work where they change the I guess you could say the custodian or the provider of that service, the 401k service. I guess you could say the fund or the management company, whatever you call it. I don't know what it's called. And so I was like, well, so I got the email and said, oh yeah, you've been moved, your account's set up and blah, blah, blah. You should set up your username and password, blah, blah. I was like, all right, cool. So I go in, I set it up, and while I'm in there, I'm like, well, shoot, if this money's already in here, might as well move it over to something that's like somewhat exposed to Bitcoin. So I was looking for a way to like invest it into like, even if that money's already there, it's already trapped, I can't take it out until I retire. I might as well put it into something that's going to grow, or that's going to, I consider that kind of like lost money. So I went ahead and I tried to figure out a way to invest it into either an ETF or even MSTR directly. But those options weren't available to me. So I was like, damn, that sucks. But while I was looking through the site, I saw a section where it says you could take loans against it. And I was like, what? Okay. So how does this work? Okay, so it's trapped. It's not trapped. It's confiscated money. Not confiscated. It's I guess it's trapped money, right? Because I can't take it out. But I could take loans against it. And I was like, damn, should I take a loan against it? So I think I'm gonna do that, guys. I'm gonna take a loan against that 401k money. and the percentage on that loan is not even that bad. So I was like, okay, that's cool. And it turns out when you take a loan out against your own retirement fund or whatever you call it, that interest that you're paying is really interest you're paying to yourself, right? So anyway, that's in the works. I'm gonna see if that actually works. If that works, that'd be cool, because it'd be a way for me to pull some of that money out of that 401k without really pulling it out. And then in the future, hopefully eventually that fund or that company will give me an option to invest in a Bitcoin backed security or a Bitcoin backed ETF, so that it can actually work harder for me, right? So that is a new spin on the 401k, on the captured 401k money. So I'll let you guys know how that works out. Best part for me, before Bitcoin, I was a gamer who just started working. I was a gamer who just started working. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, it's like it's different ways to stack, guys. There's different ways to stack. The things that I talk about here on the show are just me sharing the things I'm doing to try to get more Bitcoin, right? These are not recommendations for you to do. This is not financial advice. This is not investment advice. I'm not a financial advisor, an investment advisor, a 401k, retirement plan, or any of that stuff. Okay. I'm just looking at the options in front of me, and I'm looking at what's the best way to maximize that value that is currently in that 401k or whatever, right? What's the best thing you could do? Buy Bitcoin. The second best thing you can do is buy or invest in Bitcoin backed things, right? MSTR, ETFs, right? And everything else is kind of a waste. So buy Bitcoin. There's no second best, right? But your next best option, if you're dealing with captured money, 401k, IRAs, retirement funds, those type of things where you can't take it out until you get a certain age, then those are investment vehicles you could look into, right? But do look into them. Do research before you do that stuff. Anyway, all right. Long segment, longer. We're going to wrap this up and go into the next segment of the show. The Stack Recap. Because we don't only talk about stacking Bitcoin Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern. We actually do it every day, and we are officially minus 4% down on our portfolio. Oh my God. We're broke. We're broke and we're loving it. This show is for entertainment purposes only. This is not financial advice. Study Bitcoin or study Bitcoin, stack sats. Don't get clapped. Stack sats. Don't slack, stack sats. For entertainment purposes only. So today, as you can see, the price of Bitcoin is below our average buy price and below the lowest purchase of the show in 2025. So today, we're not going to be doing a $20 buy. No. We're not going to be doing a $40 buy. No. We're going to be doing a $80 buy today. Damn, son. $80 buy. I think, maybe is it? No, it's, it's above it. Shit, we're close enough though, guys. We're close enough that we're going to do an $80 buy. I don't care. I know the rules are the rules, but today, it's like I said, guys, you walk into the store, you see those Jordans up there for sale for $20. They're brand new. They're your size. What are you going to do? Not buy them? Sheesh. Come on. Okay. I'm buying Bitcoin right now for the same reason I go to Taco Tuesday, guys. I understand the value. even though it's Wings Wednesday. Yeah, even though it's Wings Wednesday, I understand the Taco Tuesday value. proposition that is Bitcoin today at $94,907. Yeah, we're going for it, guys. And we're doing a quadruple stack. F it. We're doing a quadruple stack because we're bullish AF. All right. We'll look at the rest of the stack recap when we have to do the purchase. Okay. That's so funny. Oops, I just got the music. Here we go. Now that we know how much Bitcoin we're going to buy, a quadruple stack. There's only one thing left to do. It's time to stack some Bitcoin. Corn in the house. Let's go. Oh, I'm so excited. I feel like I'm going to get some. I feel the same thing like I'm about to get an ice cream. A banana split. Taco Tuesday is winning. Here we go. We're buying $80 worth of Bitcoin today. A quadruple stack. Choo. Okay, we're gonna hit next. We're gonna hit confirm. So we're gonna stop the music. Hit the drum roll, please. Shout out to the Stack Bitcoin Show band in the house. Here we go. Confirming that we're buying $80 worth of Bitcoin today, January 8th, 2025, for the Stack Bitcoin Show. There it is. Choo! Damn, it feels good. It feels good to stack. And just like that, when you stack, we chill. But while we're chilling, let's update the spreadsheet with today's buy. Gentlemen, oh, feels so good. 25. Oops. 1,825. We bought at the price of. That's a little bit more than the lowest purchase price, but whatever. Close enough. 95,078.78. Dang. We bought $80 worth of Bitcoin. Damn. And the yield is 0.0008334 Bitcoin. All right, bringing our total Bitcoin, our total amount of dollars saved in Bitcoin so far in 2025 up to $200. We are down 2.57% for the year. We've accumulated 205,126 Satoshis in 2024. Average buy price of $97,433. And we keep on keeping on. Let's take this data and port it over to our overall spreadsheet. Look at all those buys. Dang. Okay, there it is. Bam! 83,394 Satoshis added to the stack for a grand total of 3.2233565 Bitcoin. Damn, boys. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're creeping up on that half a Bitcoin. Chee! Creeping up on that half a Bitcoin. I've been putting out shorts like nobody's business. I apologize if you're getting too many shorts, but we're trying to get this channel rolling, guys. We got to get to 500 subs so we can unlock the features of that will cause this channel to get some to produce its own money. Right? Advertising and monetization, so that we can get some revenue out of this channel and reinvest that same revenue into the show stack, where we can track it, and then this show will finally be sustaining itself. and I'll have my own little mini Michael Saylor Bitcoin treasury fund company, right? it'll be a little guy, but shoot, what can you say? Like, I mean, come on, it's YouTube. How many YouTube channels with under 400 subscribers have made about, I don't know, about 20? Oh, well, we're at 30,000 right now, right? We invested. Okay, so have made about, we'll just call it, we'll just say $15,000 worth of value, $20,000 worth of value has been added to the show. Just from the show existing, and having a Bitcoin treasury reserve. Okay, it's the same process for me to have a Bitcoin treasury reserve. It's the same process for you and your family and your company and your city and your state and your country to have its own Bitcoin treasury reserve, right? It scales up and it scales down. Anybody can save in Bitcoin, and it's going to do well for you. It's going to perform the same way it does for the little guy, the single investor, as it does for the Stack Bitcoin Show channel. The Roman Strategy Enterprises, exactly. That's how it is. That's how it is. All right. It's pretty dang cool. All right. That is the stack. That is the recap. Dude, I can't wait to come back here when the price starts to go up again. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to change this format a little bit. Let's see. There we go. It's a little bit neater. There it is. Average buy price. Oh my gosh. All right, let's look at the other stats while we're here. 2024, we're still looking good. All the buys from 2024, 58% gains. Let's go. We have our, yeah, still looking good. I mean, nothing's changed really because we're in the same range. Same thing with the 100 days of stacking Bitcoin. Yeah, we're doing good. The Grom's doing good. Even the Grom's up 40%. It's crazy. I added a few miles to the Grom the other day. I took it around town to do some grocery shopping, and it was the most fun grocery shopping I've done in a while. All right, that's it, guys. That's all I got for you guys today. Let me crank up the music. And just like that, it's time. We've come to the end of the Stack Bitcoin show episode. We're here every Monday through Friday. If you want to come learn about Bitcoin, if you're watching the replay, leave a comment with a question. I will answer it the following day in the episode. Or if you want to tune in live, tune in live. All you got to do is subscribe for 1 minute before you can start talking and becoming part of this awesome community. It's crazy. Do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Share the show with one of your friends. Share the show with somebody who needs it. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode of Stack Bitcoin Show. But until then, remember, if you ain't stacking, you're slacking.